Hey guys, and welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect, and well, today we're going to be doing a little bit of a world tour. So, I hope you guys are ready. Starting off with our world tour, well, don't mind this guy. Man, those pecs though, man, my goodness. Anyways, this was our starting home. This is right where we started. Man, just admire it. It was definitely a work of art. No, this is honestly probably the smallest early game build that I've ever done, but it got the job done. And we had eventually taken this and built a little bit of a storage room underneath, but that of course got changed shortly after to what is now our refined storage automation room, which is where all the big business happens. This is where all of the cool stuff happens. Basically, this right here is pretty much full mechanism automation for just about every little part of mechanism. And then, of course, we have our mass storage, which honestly seems like very little, but there's a lot of items stored in here. Yeah, and it just continues to go up. And then over here, we have what I love, which was the extra storage mod, which added this netherite crafter, which allowed us to put tons of crafts inside one crafter, because normally this is what a crafter would look like. So we have tons of stuff we can put in here now to do all kinds of just simple crafts. Oh man, that's one of my favorite things. But over here we have, of course, our seed reprocessor, and then we have, of course, the essence automation that we set up so we could get ourselves to the in-game part of the pack. And then we have the furnace, which does it all. This thing is so fast. But all of this, of course, we would have never got to this point had we not done all of the other tasks in this world. Like, for example, I don't know, getting into industrial foregoing and getting ourselves some nice industrial stuff, playing around with the pedestal mod, which honestly, this mod can do so much. And I honestly thought it was just a way to display items at first. Nope, it is definitely more than that. But yeah, industrial foregoing allowed us to do tons of stuff, like over here, set up a way to farm mobs, which I should probably turn this off now that I think about it, because we are done at this point with this. We did get to the where we need. Otherwise, at this point, it's like, yeah. Anyways, I didn't realize that you can shut this off with redstone. That's interesting. I was wondering why that wasn't working, but yeah, we've basically been farming all kinds of items going into this ender chest, which is crazy. And this has been storing experience, which unfortunately industrial foregoing used to have a way to mess around with the experience that it generates, the essence, to be able to reproduce any mob that you want. Unfortunately, I have not seen that yet in the updates. So yeah, it used to be called a mob duplicator. So hopefully, eventually it'll be back. But as of right now, it's kind of not. But over here, we have some bees. Now, bees got a overhaul since the last time I played with them. As you can see, they have new textures on them. This is a coal bee, and it actually has like a coal texture on the top. Like, I really, really loved the bee mod, and there's so much more that's being added to it. And basically, this right here collects out of this, and this on top, this ender hopper, collects the combs, and those get sent all the way over here now into a processing chamber, courtesy of refined storage. And yeah, it goes into this, and all of the combs get processed super fast. And then we also have a automatic glass bottle reprocessing, which I'm pretty sure at this point, yeah, we have 31,000 honeycomb blocks, because the bottles, as this works, it also generates bottles of honey, and then those bottles get collapsed back into honey blocks, and we get our bottles back, and all of that gets automated. That was a fun task. As you can see, here's all of our cool bees, and yeah, we have new textures for the bees, which I really like. They got like actual block models. That is super cool. I kind of seen a little teaser on these, but I didn't get to actually see them in game. They almost look smaller. At least the RGBs still look the same. Yeah, the RGBs are probably one of my favorite, simply because of what it does. gives you dye, like all of the dye types. You don't have to fuss with the dye. You just do it. Now, I also wanted to mention Barry B. Benson. This right here is our captive B, Barry B. Benson, that you guys named during the live stream, which has become one of my favorite little things that we've built here. It's just a regular Minecraft bee that is forever trapped inside of this glass chamber, just so this guy doesn't come out and start stealing your girlfriends. That's the main reason we trapped Barry B, because he's pretty good at stealing your girlfriends. Now, I did mention that we needed power to power all of this, and it all started with a very small, big reactor, or bigger reactor. It sounds so weird to say that, a very small, bigger reactor. But that's the new name of what used to be big reactors and extreme reactors, now is bigger reactors. And as you can see here, we have this one running, generating about 7,000 RF per tick in its current configuration with liquid starlight inside. And on top, we really can't see the way it's set up, but I do have this sort of in a, like kind of, they're right up next to each other sort of deal inside. But up top is a way to store power. However, we probably could have made more of these and made this a lot bigger, because right now it only stores about 3 billion RF, which is a lot of power, but compared to the amount of power that we're technically generating, it's a very, very small amount. Now, I did mess around with some really cool blocks here. There's actually drawbridges right here. Like, this is a drawbridge mod. And what it allows me to do is basically piston doors, like create piston doors without pistons. It's quite nice. And you can use glass blocks. You can use whatever. And it's going to basically, depending on how many blocks you put in here, going to draw and pull back in, which is pretty cool. And then down here, of course, is more of our refined storage network. As you can see, I do have a creative controller. This was one of the items that you could actually make early on. And all it required was pretty much this setup over here. And I have this set up to be automated because some of the stuff that required, required some automation, just because I didn't want to be standing here for hours just placing items. But this right here is part of the Power mod. And of course, we do have stuff to make power from the Power mod. But my big thing was to get the creative refined storage controller and also the creative monitor that we have over here, which is really nice. I can just keep this in my inventory. I have it bound to my F key, so I can open up our network here with the F key. It's just so nice. Now, how could we possibly forget the Botania setup that is built inside of a beautiful, beautiful gazebo? That's right. I decided to build a Botania setup inside of a gazebo, and it worked out. Like, this worked. Now, at this moment, we don't need the automation because we did work towards getting the everlasting gluttony pool, which is infinite mana. And it took a lot to get there. Let me just say, a lot. All of this stuff that you see in the world, other than stuff like Nature's Aura, even though I did technically use Nature's Aura, and some other things, like, we didn't really need in order to complete it, but I did go through just about every single mod in this mod pack during this Let's Play, including Blood Magic, which we didn't finish, simply because there really wasn't much to Blood Magic even after completing it. There used to be a lot more in Blood Magic, and unfortunately, like, in the current version of it, there's just not that much yet. However, we will revisit this in other mod packs as more stuff is added, because I'm sure the old stuff and or just simply more features may be added. But as of right now, it just kind of was the same grind for not too much in return. I was hoping to be able to switch night or day to night, but luckily there were some other mods that allowed us to do that. Speaking of sleeping through the night, that is something that we can also do over here. So just getting in a bed, of course, we can sleep through the night. But to sleep through the day and into the night was another mod that I've always overlooked. And I can't believe I have just completely overlooked this feature that this mod has. It's been in almost every mod pack I've played as well. The comforts. All you have to do to sleep through the day to get to the night is to make yourself a hammock. And I never realized, like, I never knew how the hammock system worked, but all you need is rope and nails, and you need 4 blocks away, and you place it on the second high block, and then you can sleep literally through the day and it will fast forward to the evening and give you just a little bit of daylight and before the before the sun goes down. It is super nice. I didn't even realize that was a thing. Now, of course, how can I forget the Mahou tsukai mod? It is honestly crazy. And it has only been getting better. I've seen that there's updates and stuff, but this is just insane. So I can actually summon a familiar real quick, just like that. That's one of the just many things we can do. And I can also swap places with this guy, which I found this to be really, really useful. If I go to familiar exchange, I can use this, and now I'm where my familiar was at, and my familiar moved to where I was at. And some really useful stuff can be done with this. You can go cross-dimensionally as well. But of course, we can also do this thing, which, yeah, let's just go ahead and summon this, and then I should have enough mana. I just want to show you what this thing can do. All right, let's do this. I'm pointing right here. That's right. This is a giant beam that is just growing and growing. And then whenever I'm ready to launch it, I let go. And it's supposed to destroy the land? Maybe? It didn't. Wait, was it not fully completed? Oh boy. All right, let's try this again. I'm going to stand here. Activate it. I hear the rain now. I see the beam now. The beam is full. And nothing. Interesting. I wonder if this was disabled or something. The explosion damage. Because that should totally work. Should totally work. Boom. Where's my explosion? Oh, man. I know why it wasn't working. We need 5,000 Mahou to be able to use it. Which I have a little bit inside of my attuned diamond, so that should allow us to be able to use it now. Sorry, sheep, but you're going to be gonzo soon. And also, is that a cat down there? Why is there a cat down there? Oh my. Yep, that's the kind of craters that you can end up making. I think that sheep got obliterated there, unfortunately. Now, down here is a really, really cool area that we set up all of these botany pots. Now, these guys, well, they're harvesting these botany pots. And as you can see, there's a lot of rats here because these rats are actually upgraded and they tick accelerate the block that they are standing on. So I can have these guys stand on any of these blocks to accelerate the growth, even if they take a long time. Like I think these take almost a minute and a half to grow. These things can grow these in, less than like 10 seconds. So you can really accelerate the growth of your mystical agriculture crops with just a few rats, which is insane. And I've seen people like compacting these guys so much that they start to kill their rats off because they start cramming. Yeah, it's insane. Now let's not forget the mod that we kind of started with, which was the elemental craft, which I really enjoyed this mod. It does have a lot of cool stuff that I didn't even touch, right? There is so much you can do with this as far as like basically growing tons of animals. You can have it auto breed them and all kinds of cool stuff. But what I really liked was this setup down here. Like this really reminded me of actually additions and sort of the way that it works. And of course several other mods, but I really like the way that you can move the aspects around. It's just a really nice mod all around. Plus the stuff that you can wield and wield spells. Now, we had a bunch of mods that had spells based on them. And another one was Ars Novu. And this mod right here was also really, really cool. And it took a little bit to sort of understand, but once you understand it, you can do so many things, right? Let's go ahead and get our Ars book out. I should have it stored. Actually, it's probably in one of my bags right here. So, I have a lot of stuff in my bags. This book right here, you can cast spells like such as night vision is what I have right now. I also have the ability to move down, but in the crafting mode, we can actually make a bunch of different effects that that will stay on us, and we can craft our own spells from these, such as I have a light that I can place, which is really cool. All I got to do is set this to the light, and when I place it, you can see I get these little orbs that I can break. These are really, really cool. I wish you could change the color of them though. That would also be really nice. But the fact that we can create light bulbs like that, and we can also create, like, have our own night vision, which I used a lot. We can also shoot like a bolt that can deal damage to mobs. That one was really cool. Long range break, which basically I can shoot, and as you can see, the projectile hits the block and it breaks the block that I'm shooting at. This is also really useful. You can see it goes quite a distance as well. There's so many different things. Leap is really cool because early on, if you have the right gear, you can pretty much fly. I'm not flying at all right now. I'm just using leap to get around. It's kind of crazy. I mean, honestly, it's kind of insane. Now, let's just say there was a couple of projects after I got to a certain point in this pack that I just wanted to build some stuff. So that's exactly what I did. However, I still haven't, like, I want to live stream this more of this pack to just do some fun stuff, which I will be doing. As of right now, though, I am playing a hardcore as of the time of this recording. But we do have these stalls, which we did fill with several different things. There's like an iron golem in here. There's a little guy over here. We have a literal wither right there. I have some more storage rooms for other mobs. I can't believe we ended up getting this guy in here, which was kind of crazy. Just insane. But this overall, this build in general was super fun to do, to sort of have almost like a miniature zoo inside of our world. And also it gave a really, really nice place to set up for some other projects. I have a teleporter here that's going to take me to Chosen Paradise, one of our other builds that we did during the live streams. And this one is also one of my favorites because this is set up inside of a Dead Sea, which in my opinion is probably one of the ugliest biomes that this pack has in it. And I wanted to make it look like it's a paradise inside of one of the ugliest biomes. You can see that we're surrounded by gray, just straight up gray. But we were able to build some really, really cool stuff. Even interior decorate, get some things going. I tried to get villagers in here to stay. They didn't want to stay. We even set up some really cool stuff, like a computer craft program that we ran that would actually show Twitch chat as we were actively playing. It is still set up. Basically, if you have this world loaded, the program should still be, well, it'll be loaded for me, as it is saved for me locally. But it'll run the program, and if anybody was chatting in Twitch right now, it would show up on this screen, which is kind of crazy. We actually decided to go ahead and see what the villagers had to offer, so I did build some actual villager stalls that would keep them safe. For some reason, they were getting out and just dying. I don't know why. We even tried the Eldion mod. I probably didn't say that right again. It's so weird for me to say some of these mods. But we tried it out, and there's some cool stuff you can do with it as well, like change time, which is another useful thing. This right here was another place that we tried to put a villager, and we just did all kinds of weird stuff that we were playing with. This was all done during the live stream. Let's take a look at it from the top, though. This is where it really becomes interesting. You can see this is a Dead Sea, so we did clear out all of this water, and we built this in the ground to look more like a lush kind of landscape, where the sea is actually clawing inside, or like trying to get in, or trying to destroy it, or whatever you may look at it. But I wanted it to be sort of hollowed and look like these rock claws were sort of reaching in, which I thought was really, really cool. So that build may be cool and all, but is it as cool as this one, which is in the Nether? It's actually pretty crazy. And yes, chat decided to name it Chosen's Hell. And this is it. We have a fully automatic trading hub, which all we have to do is kind of place in here, place some gold, and they will start up and run. And yeah, we even utilize this, which I didn't think I was going to do. And we ended up setting this up. This is part of the wonderful Nature's Aura mod, which has so many uses that I didn't realize. Yeah, we ended up building these nice little houses for all of the villagers nearby. And of course, we got a gas that's going to try and destroy this all. Can you get out of here? Well, like I'm in the middle of a recording. All right, can you stop? Just to make sure. By the way, our tools are so overpowered. But yeah, let's just take a look inside this house. Like this little house was a nice little touch. I had a piece of gold on the wall, a little bed. Of course, don't click on that bed because that would explode. And these houses were sort of a modern style house that I was going with. Built a little desk structure. Of course, got the golden carrots lined up in here. Got a little TV that we built with Computer Craft. And I mean, just some interesting stuff that I was just putting together to kind of just experiment. I went with like these chains to have it like it's holding up the mountainside. Not to mention, this biome alone is really cool. The glowstone gardens. Down here is another little house that we have set up. And of course, we have a mod in here that lets you take pictures of things and put them on the wall, which was really cool. Like actually taking screenshots pretty much and putting them on the wall anywhere. It is such a cool thing that you can do. And then over here is like our kitchen. This was like a chef's paradise area here. Of course, fish, you can't get fish in the nether, but I did go ahead and put a jellyfish and a puffer fish and all kinds of cool stuff. Like a little sushi bar over here. Some other mods that we kind of touched on a little bit was the create mod. And of course, the create mod, there's so many different things that you can use this for. I've built auto cobblestone generators. I've shown that you can do auto mining with them. I've created automatic farms and stuff with them, but a couple things that we ended up setting up to try and integrate it so it didn't look super out of place was I create these like little water wheels here that look like they are actually pouring water on. Of course, you can get more power, crank power out of having multiple water wheels, but right here was a auto press setup, which was super useful and is actually automated. And then down here was an automatic concrete generator. Basically, you just throw your concrete here, your concrete powder, and it would actually suck up the concrete depending on which filter you had placed in here, and it would be good to go. Usually I would just actually throw it here and just leave it and then come pick it up. But yeah, it's also running off of just a simple water wheel. Very simple. Over here was some villagers that I tried to get them set up in here. They still just ended up disappearing for some reason. Don't exactly know why. I even have a little ding sound whenever we walk in and out. But these were little villager stalls that I had set up for different villagers types. You can see another picture screenshot being used there, which fit really, really well into this. And then of course, some of these small bits of astral sorcery, basically enough to get me some light, some liquid starlight, which I needed for my generator. I didn't really dive too deep into astral sorcery as I've done it several times in my past Let's Plays, but maybe in the future. This right here is a nice little cuckoo clock that was running. We ended up getting the furnace engine built and running, and this is a giant mechanical crafter, which is used for crafting a lot of the stuff from Create. Now, you may think that that's a little bit complicated, right? And maybe some of the auto crafting stuff is complicated, but nothing was as complicated, honestly, as getting into Mechanism V10. It's a whole other beast. With Mechanism V10, I decided to go ahead and place this somewhere just in case I messed up. And I placed it in a wooded wasteland. Yes, a place that if it got radiated, it wouldn't affect our main base. But as you can see, all of these machines right here, and even this setup, this little setup over here is creating the sheets using the pellets. This basically is creating the plastic sheets, and this whole section here is creating the fuel, the fizzle fuel that we needed in order to run a fission reactor. Yes, this is the max tier fission reactor that you can make, or the max size, which is an 18 by 18. And yes, we have a lot of water that is being pumped into this thing to keep it running. Otherwise, it will evaporate the water at such a fast rate that I can't keep up with it. At the moment, I do have it turned off because my fuel is shut off for some reason. I think I'm missing something. Yeah, I'm missing this sulfur. Sulfur is just that you need so much sulfur. So as soon as you can get the sulfur farm running, the better. This right here would be catastrophic if we broke any of these. This is basically all of our waste being stored here, and it slowly evaporates it inside of these radioactive waste barrels. And then basically when this is running, this generates about 3 million RF per tick, I do believe, which is quite a lot. It really does generate quite a bit of power. And all of that power is being consumed by this, which we were using to make antimatter. the actual antimatter pellets. Absolutely insane. I had to let another computer run while running this world, let it run for a few days in order to generate enough for what we needed, simply because this is a single player world. So it wasn't running on a server or anything, so I have to be in the game to run this. So I popped it on another computer and let it run for several days while it was generating antimatter, and then we finally had enough to get to creative items. It was quite a process, believe me. I have this off just in case. I just don't want anything to explode. Now that we got the antimatter we needed, I even have antimatter to spare for other things, but yeah, that was a nightmare. But anyways, that's pretty much our world. Wow, this was almost 2 months. This was only 2 months worth of building, worth of modded Minecraft work, with me working on it every day, pretty much doing something every day from anywhere between 2 hours to 4 hours to 8 hours worth of work in a single day. And every single day of the week. I'm not joking. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I was busy doing something in this work for over 50 episodes. So yes, we have pushed this pack, and that also includes live streaming, because I would stream for several hours as well. So yeah, lots of work goes into these worlds. And I do have this world, of course, up for patrons. Of course, you guys are able to download that if you are a patron of any tier. Will get you access to these world downloads. And of course, you can find that link down in the description below. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this world tour. New mod pack, Let's Play coming soon. So be sure to keep an eye out for that. I was hoping to be able to play all the mod 6 inside of a skyblock variant, but unfortunately, we're probably gonna have to wait till next time. Next Let's Play, not the one that I'm about to play, but the next one, because that's going to be coming soon. I'm actually excited. I want to play this in a skyblock. That sounds really, really fun. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this Let's Play as a whole. I know I've already made my ending video, but I wanted to also do a world tour for you guys, and figured a nice little short video would be something nice and say thank you for all of you guys' support. Of course, if you guys want to say thank you to me for all the support, be sure to click that like button. And also, if you haven't subscribed already, be sure to subscribe so you'll see that new Let's Play as it comes out. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoy. And of course, I will see you guys in the next Let's Play. And as always, thanks for watching.